Welcome. Today we're diving deep into one of Australia's most specific family visas, the Subclass 835, the remaining relative visa. You know, if your only close family members are already in Australia, this visa might just be your permanent link to them. So let's break down exactly how it all works, step by step.
So what is this visa at its heart? Well, it's a permanent visa, which is the big goal for so many people. But it's really designed for a very particular situation. We're talking about when your only close family relatives are already settled here in Australia. That makes it a really crucial and, for some people, the only possible path to that family reunion.
We're going to treat this as a journey, walking through the entire application process from start to finish. So, the big question for you to think about as we go is this: could this be your path to joining your family for good in Australia?
Okay, so here's our roadmap. We've broken this whole journey down into 6 key stages. We'll start with understanding the visa itself, then move on to getting ready, gathering your documents, actually lodging the application, what to do while you wait, and finally, getting that all-important decision. Let's get right into it.
So let's just be crystal clear on its purpose. This visa exists to make sure a person isn't left totally isolated in their home country when their entire close family support system has already made the move to Australia. It's about keeping families together.
All right, stage 1. This is all about laying the groundwork. Before you even think about collecting documents, there are a few essential first steps. Getting these right can save you some major headaches later on.
First things first, your passport. Now here's an interesting detail. It doesn't actually have to be valid for you to apply. But, and this is a big but, you must have a new valid one before the visa can be granted. Next, if this whole process feels a bit much, you can get help. A registered migration agent can handle the legal side of things, or if you just need someone to manage your mail and correspondence, you can nominate pretty much anyone to do that for you with a different form. And here we are, at what is probably the most detailed and, let's be honest, the most critical part of this whole journey: gathering all your documents. You should really think of this as building the case for your application. Accuracy and being thorough here, well, it's everything.
So, here it is, the golden rule. Everything you provide must be accurate and verifiable. There is absolutely zero wiggle room on this. This is the foundation of any visa application, and for a very, very good reason, as you're about to see.
And look, the stakes could not be higher. This isn't just a friendly suggestion, it's a direct warning from the Department of Home Affairs. They are incredibly serious about protecting the migration system from identity fraud. If you provide false information, you could literally be banned from applying for any other Australian visa for a full 10 years. It's that serious.
Okay, so what do you actually need to pull together? Your document file is going to be built around a few key people. You, of course, your sponsor, and any partner or children you're hoping to include. You might also be asked for character documents. Let's take a closer look at what that means.
Now, what's really fascinating about this visa is just how central your sponsor is to the whole thing. They have to be over 18 and what's called a settled Australian citizen, permanent resident, or eligible New Zealander. Settled pretty much means they've been living in Australia for a decent amount of time, usually about 2 years. They have their own form to fill out, Form 40, and they need to prove both their own status and, of course, their relationship to you.
Including your kids in the application is pretty common, but the rules are very different depending on their age. For children under 18, it's mostly about their identity, your relationship, and, this is really important, getting consent from any parent who isn't coming with you. But for dependents over 18, you have to prove they are financially dependent on you, and that comes with its own strict rules about age and the kind of evidence you need to show.
All right, you've gathered everything. What's next? This is your final prep work, broken down into 4 easy steps. 1. Get official English translations for any documents that aren't in English. 2. Get certified copies of everything except for your police certificates. 3. Only send in the original police certificates when the department specifically asks you for them. And 4. Always keep a full copy of everything for your own records. Trust me on that last one.
So with your documents all perfectly prepped, you are ready for Stage 3, lodging the application. This is the moment your hard work officially gets handed over to the Department of Home Affairs.
Okay, the process here is super specific and you have to follow it exactly. First, you and your sponsor complete your forms. Second, you have to pay the first visa fee online through IMI account, and don't forget this part, print the receipt. Third, you bundle it all together, the forms, the receipt, and all your certified documents. And finally, you mail the whole package to the processing center in Perth. Just a heads up, you cannot submit this in person. It has to go by post.
And this right here is a non-negotiable rule. This is what's called an onshore visa. That means you have to be physically present in Australia when you apply, and you also have to be here when they make the final decision. Overlooking this one simple rule can completely invalidate your entire application, so it's a big one to remember. So, you've mailed off your application. What happens now? This stage is all about how you manage that waiting period. Just because the application is in doesn't mean your part is over. There are definitely still things you need to know and do.
This brings us to a really common question, and it's one of the most important things to get your head around while you wait. So what exactly is a bridging visa?
Think of a bridging visa as your legal lifeline. As soon as you apply for the 83-5 visa, you're automatically granted one. It just kind of sits there in the background, and then it kicks in the exact moment your current visa expires. It's what keeps you legally in Australia while you're waiting for that final decision. It's basically an automatic safety net.
Now, even though you applied on paper, you can and absolutely should manage your application online. Once you get that acknowledgement letter, you can import the application into your IME account. This is so important because it lets you upload new documents if you need to, update your contact details, and check on the status of your application yourself.
Look, life doesn't stop just because you're waiting for a visa decision, right? And the department needs to know about any big changes. You are required to report these things. Updating your contact details, getting a new passport, or a change in your relationship status are all vital. Same goes for the birth of a child. Keeping them in the loop just makes sure your application stays up to date and accurate.
And now we've reached the final stage, the decision. After all that preparation, all that waiting, the Department of Home Affairs will give you their official outcome, and it will always be in writing.
So here are the two ways this can go. If your visa is granted, great news. You'll get your visa grant number, the date your visa starts, and any conditions that are attached to it. If it's refused, the letter will explain exactly why, tell you about any rights you might have to a review of that decision, and, unfortunately, confirm that the application fee won't be refunded.
So there you have it. We've walked through the entire process, from those very first checks all the way to the final decision. It's a detailed path for sure, and it's demanding, but it's one with a really clear structure. Now that you've seen the whole journey laid out, the real question is, are you ready to take that first step?